Matter kicked off early last year, bringing many new devices to Apple Home. The process was very rocky for me personally, and I know for many of you as well. Today, Matter isn't quite where it needs to be yet, but it's getting much closer. My first Matter device was a Tapo smart plug, which honestly for the first couple of months, it was barely usable. But by the middle of the year, after some iOS updates and some device firmware updates, it's been totally solid. Tapo is a TP-Link company with many smart home accessories, many of which work in Apple Home. Today we're going to explore the Tapo products that you can use in your Apple Home and talk about the pros and cons so you can make a more informed decision before adding to your smart home. Tapo is a budget-friendly line offered by TP-Link. They offer many smart home switches and plugs, cameras and lights, and they even have a robot vacuum. Not all of their products work with Apple Home, in fact many don't, so make sure you see that works with Apple Home or Matter logo if you're looking to include that in your Apple smart home. Tapo sent me a handful of products including a couple of cameras, their new smart light bulb, and their smart switch and dimmer. I've had a few weeks to test this out and today I'm going to give you my thoughts. I installed the Tapo switches in my bathroom. The switch is replacing a standard switch which controls my bathroom exhaust fan, and it's basically the last non-smart switch that I have left in my home. And the dimmer will control the pot light above the shower. I had been using a Wemo Thread dimmer switch, but it's been completely unreliable. I was hoping that over time it would get better, but that hasn't been the case. I couldn't wait to replace this with something that actually worked. The instructions walk you step by step through the installation, and you can also follow the step-by-step guide on the Tapo app. Just remember to turn off the power. It's also a good idea to use a voltage tester, a small investment that I was happy to make after shocking myself a couple of months ago when changing a light switch. Tip, make sure to disconnect all the switches in the box because, as I learned, they're not always connected to the same breaker. You do need a neutral wire, which is the grouping of white wires behind the switch. Most newer homes will have neutral wires, but you'll want to check before purchasing. Although the installation is fairly basic, don't be afraid to hire an electrician or get some help if you're not comfortable. The build is pretty standard. They resemble a traditional decor style switch, but instead of pressing up to control the power, you can only press the lower part of the switch to toggle the lights on or off. On the dimmer, there are two buttons on the top of the paddle for dimming. Once you've installed the switch, it's time to set it up, and that's done in the Tapo app. If you have any Casa switches, then you can also view them in the Tapo app as well, which I find helpful. Simply select Add Device, and then the app will walk you through the easy setup. Once it's been added, you'll want to bring that into Apple Home so you can control it with Siri and include it in your HomeKit scenes. Your switch will come with a Matter code in the box and on the device that you can just scan to add it to Apple Home. You can also get the code from the settings of the device. Go to Device Info, then select Matter Setup Code. You can then copy the code and then add it to Apple Home. Tapo offers some features that you may find helpful, such as last on state. You can turn off the LED indicator light, which may be an important feature if you're planning to install this in a dark bedroom. And for the dimmer, you have dimming calibration and the option to adjust how gradual the lights turn on or off. I like mine at 1 second. It's quick, but not as abrupt as the lights instantly turning to 100%. You can change this up to 60 seconds. For the on-off switch, there's an auto-off timer, which is really helpful when installing this in a bathroom exhaust fan like I'm doing today. I've set the auto-off to 1 hour, which is enough time to clear most of the humidity if someone's having a shower. I've also added a flick button by my toilet that turns my Tapo switch on and then turns it off after 15 minutes. I have a similar setup in my other bathrooms, and it works great. Tapo also offers an away mode. You can create a schedule or add a one-time event, so when you're away, the lights will randomly turn on to give the impression that someone's home. I have no complaints with either of these switches. They both use Wi-Fi and they've worked every single time so far. They look nice and they're reasonably priced. My biggest caution with adding a lot of Wi-Fi devices, such as replacing your entire home with Wi-Fi switches, is to make sure that you have a solid Wi-Fi system that can handle the load. The switch sells for just $25 and the dimmer $28. And check the link in the description for further discounts. Tapo has a couple of cameras to choose from that work with Apple Home and HomeKit Secure Video. So as long as you have an appropriate iCloud storage plan, then event-based recordings are included. Tapo also has their own cloud-based storage plan, and they let you try it free for 30 days. They also support local storage via micro USB, where you can enable continuous recording or just detection recording. You can also set up a recording schedule in the Tapo app if there's times of day that you don't want it to record, or times where you just want event-based recording as opposed to continuous recording. A pretty neat feature that comes with the Tapo Care subscription is the video summary, where it curates your recordings from a particular day into a single video. The C125 is an adjustable static view camera. It supports up to 2K resolution, though as always, you will be limited to 1080p within Apple Home. Their smart AI can identify people, pets, and abnormal sounds like kids crying, glass breaking, or dogs barking. Tapo also allows you to adjust the sensitivity in case you're noticing some false positives. The camera lens is an ultra-wide 140-degree field of view, so it can cover a large area. The base is magnetic, so it can stick to any metal surface, and you can install a metal plate, which I did to watch over my guinea pig. It's always nice to check on them when we're away for short periods to make sure that their food and water stocked up. There's also two-way audio, so we can hear them chirping or say hello. This is compatible with Wi-Fi 6, so if you have a compatible router, then you can experience faster response time and smoother playback. The camera is super adjustable, so it's easy to find the right angle. It also includes night vision and does a pretty good job. You can also optimize it for far or near. With cameras in the home, a common concern is privacy. There's a button right on the side of the camera that you can press to put the camera to sleep. If you're after a pan and tilt camera, then Tapo has a similar option with their TC73. Again, it's 2K when viewing from the Tapo app. But with the pan and tilt, you get a viewing angle of 360 degrees horizontal and 149 degrees vertical. This allows you to look around the room and find your perfect angle. You can set predefined positions, and this supports motion tracking, which means you can track people, pets, and vehicles in case this is looking outside. You can also limit this so it only tracks what you want so you don't get over-notified. Here is a video comparison between these two cameras during the day and then at night. Here is the C125 compared to the Aqara G2H Pro camera during the day, then at night. And now is the TC73 compared to Aqara's G3 pan and tilt camera during the day, and then again at night. The C125 camera comes in at $60 and the TC73 is $70, very reasonable prices for both of these cameras. Indoor cameras can be helpful for keeping an eye on your home when you're not at home, both from a security perspective as well as making sure that your pets are happy, and certainly it would be helpful for those with babies or small children. It's great to see some Tapo cameras that work with Apple Home and HomeKit Secure Video, and next I would really like to see some options for outdoor cameras. The last product Tapo sent me was their Matter A19 smart bulb. I don't really have too much to say about it, there's just so many light bulbs out there, and this one works well, but it's also pretty typical. Since it works with Matter and not Apple Home, it's not compatible with adaptive lighting. I would love to see a Matter update for this soon. It is the typical 16 million colors with warm and cool whites, and it's 1100 lumens, which is roughly equivalent to a 75-watt incandescent bulb. Funny how in 2024, we're still comparing this to old technology. I don't even bother with 800 lumens anymore. What I think you'll like best though is the cost. You can get a 2-pack for around $30, and I've often seen this on sale, so you may be able to get it for even less. Philips Hue is my undisputed smart light bulb champion, but a single bulb will cost you around $50 as opposed to $15. And also Hue requires a bridge. I was pretty surprised just how much brighter the colors were when I put it next to a more expensive Nanoleaf Essentials bulb. So if you've been holding off adding smart lights, then Tapo may be a good option for you. As mentioned earlier, Tapo also offers a Matter smart plug, which I've been using with my turntable. I have the Tapo plug turned off with my goodbye scene, so if I'm leaving the house, I make sure that I haven't left this off. If you're looking for an outdoor smart plug, then Tapo's P400M is Matter compatible, and it's IP65 rated so it can handle the elements. Since it's intended for outdoors, you really want to make sure that wherever you place it, you can maintain a solid connection to your router. Tapo makes this easier with dual antennas that can reach up to 300 feet. What's also nice with this one is it's a dual smart plug, and each outlet can be controlled separately. I feel like this is just the start for TP-Link and Tapo. I expect this year we'll see even more devices that work with Apple Home, mostly thanks to Matter. Also, TP-Link has announced at CES a camera doorbell combo that will work with Apple HomeKey. Definitely intriguing, and I'll be testing that out for you once it becomes available. Let me know your thoughts or if you have any questions on any of the products that I've covered in today's video. For those looking for budget-friendly options, I have no hesitation recommending Tapo. I expect 2024 is going to be a busy year and I can't wait. We're going to see many more Matter-enabled products, some new smart home categories, and hopefully some overall improvements to Apple Home. Not just in terms of Matter, but just HomeKit in general. It's still not nearly as reliable as it needs to be, especially for those with a large number of accessories. Stick with me through this journey and I'll do my best to keep you informed. That's it for this week. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.